Since I've been in business for years at this point, I have heard it all. I've made my fair share of mistakes and bad hires and have wasted time and money along the way. But the good news for you is that because I've made all of these mistakes and because I share everything so openly, you can learn from the things that I've done wrong so you can skip all of those messy bits and just get to the good part right away, all without having to figure it out for yourself. Hey, I'm Jill Wise. I'm a brand and marketing strategist, conversion copywriter, and business coach. And through both my Done For You studio and education platform, I've worked with, coached, and taught literally hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you how to make good money online. But along the way, like I said, I have heard it all, and that includes terrible business advice from people who are not qualified to be giving you that kind of advice in the first place. Maybe their marketing seems flashy on the outside, but when you get into it and when you start to listen to the things that these people are really saying, you realize there's a bunch of red flags. So I thought today's video would be kind of fun if we get into the dirt or the tea a little bit and talk about some of the absolute worst business advice that I have heard over my years in business. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe just for fun, leave some of the worst business advice that you've ever heard in the comments below. Okay, so some of these are ones that I've personally heard, but then I also went over onto Instagram a few weeks ago and I asked you to submit some of the worst advice that you've heard too so that I could add it all together. And honestly, I'm grinning through this because in hindsight, these are just so funny. Even if they're things that I fell for back in the day, they're funny now. In hindsight, you realize that they're just such bad advice. So bad. So my plan is to go through each of these and then just kind of explain a little bit, maybe do some story times on when I heard these, if they personally impacted me or not, and what to do if you hear them too. Because I don't want you getting caught up in this stuff. That's the whole point here, right? Yes, it's fun to poke fun at this, but I don't want you getting caught up in this kind of sketchy business advice. Also, we're joined by Champ in the office today, and he keeps making grumbling noises and grunting and sighing and being a puppy. So we're just gonna roll with it, but that's what you're hearing in the background. Okay, the very first one, which I heard years ago, somebody actually tried to sell me into their program using this, and it is this: just put it on your credit card because it's an investment and you'll make the money back. Service providers or coaches or course creators who use this kind of language in their marketing are sketchy AF, and you need to run away fast because no, never should you be putting yourself into debt in order to invest in your business. Yes, you need to spend money to make money. Yes, there are smart investments. And yes, sometimes you have to be really strategic with those. But if somebody is saying, hey, just put it on your credit card debt is not a strategic business investment. Also, when they're saying things like you're going to make the money back right away, yes, that is what an investment is. You should see an ROI almost immediately, or at least in the near future. There should be some positive outcome for your investment. That's literally what an investment is. When people tell you that you should buy something and you're not going to see that money back, it's not an investment. It's actually just a business expense. More on that later. But in this capacity, this is terrible advice because like I keep saying, you shouldn't be going into debt in order to invest in your business. If you don't have the money for a program or a course or some kind of offer yet, that's okay. Just wait until you do. Start with something smaller. Using my own business as an example, we do full service projects from start to finish, and that includes brand messaging and positioning and website copy and email marketing and funnels and all of that kind of stuff. But I always ask on the sales call if they have a pre-qualified offer. Is your business making money, essentially? I want to know if you are ready for this kind of investment because it's big, because we do so much. And if the offer isn't pre-qualified or the business is newer or the person is new to business, I usually send them over or guide them over to an option that is better aligned with where they're at in business. Because I don't want them to be making massive investments that are thousands of dollars if they're not there yet, right? I don't want this to be something that they're going into debt for. I want it to be a smart decision to continue to grow their business. If they're newer, they might be a better fit for an intensive day or something from the shop or a program or a group offer, something like that instead. So I will always try to be honest and open about that. And if somebody is trying to sell you something like this and they're not being honest like that and they're not being open like that and they just want your money, run away. The next piece of bad advice. This has to do with your marketing. You need to post on social media because that is where you will get your leads. I see all too often that people say to forget about the foundations and go all in on a specific platform, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or whatever. But the problem is that one of these marketing channels is not an all-encompassing marketing strategy. It's just a specific channel that you can use, you can leverage, but it's not an entire strategy. Repeat after me. Instagram is not a marketing strategy. It's a piece of your strategy. It's a tool that you can use. But when you are posting on social media and you don't have the foundations in place, like you don't have a sales pipeline set up, you don't have a website set up, people can't contact you, all of these crucial foundational pieces, then Instagram's not going to get you very far. I filmed a video about this specifically, talking about my 3 steps to build, grow, and scale a sustainable business. And the point here is that Instagram or TikTok or some kind of social media platform isn't scalable, and it's not sustainable, and it's not, like I said, encompassing all of those foundational pieces. So go watch that video if you want to learn more about that, but end rant here for this bad advice. The next one, you need to run ads if you want to grow your list and get sales. I'm going to debunk this one from my own personal experience and from what I've seen in the industry and from what I've seen of clients. The general rule is that ads will only amplify what is already working. So if you have a lead magnet and you don't know if it's converting yet, or if you have an offer and nobody's buying yet, running ads to these sales pages or these offer pages is not going to help you, because you don't know if people even want to buy this or download this thing or anything like that first. You need to know that these offers are converting before you start putting money into it. So if you're getting sales already, yes, ads might boost that. If you're getting crickets, ads will just amplify that too. You'll get more crickets for more money, meaning more money wasted. And while yes, you might be able to grow your list, if you don't do these foundational steps first, I love this word, if you don't do these pieces first in order to figure out if the offer is converting, if the sales pages or the landing pages are converting and all of that work, then you don't know if those leads that are coming onto your list are even going to be qualified. And you could end up wasting a lot of money to uncover that you have problems with your messaging or your offers or your authority within your niche. And ads aren't going to fix any of that. One thing that's really important when you're going to run ads as well is being really, really clear on the audience. I learned this from personal experience. I hired an ads manager a few years ago, and while I was really clear on the audience and I had my entire brand messaging guide and my target avatar outlined, all of the details that they could possibly know, I found out long into, like a couple months into the agreement, that those rules or that direction wasn't being used in the beginning. So we were spending money to reach people that didn't align with my target audience, right? So at least I knew who that was, and that should have been used in order to make my ads more profitable. But if you don't even know who that person is in the beginning, then there's no point in you putting money into it, because you're going to end up with the same problem, right? Like this ads person that I hired didn't know who my audience was because they weren't following this direction, and that showed in the numbers. So you don't want to have the same problem happen to you because you're not clear on who the audience is. So before you do anything with ads, you need to make sure that you're really clear on who you're talking to, what the message is, that the offer is converting, that the sales pages are converting, and all of that stuff first. Okay, and right here, I know I can go on forever. The next one is hire an assistant as soon as you hit X dollars per month. And that X dollars can be whatever blanketed advice that person decides to say right then. So that could be once you hit 2K months, once you hit 5K months, whatever. They just say that as soon as you hit that dollar amount, you need an assistant without even knowing anything about your business or your expenses or your profit margins or your work style or anything like that. They don't consider the nuances of your business. And that's really important. I didn't hire an assistant until I'd passed the 6-figure mark in my business because I didn't need one at the time. I thought that I did at one point, but what I needed was actually better systems and processes. And when I paused and I focused on getting those better first, then it was so much easier to bring on an assistant later on. And then she was able to help me bring on other team members, right? Because we had these systems and processes in place. So since then, it's been fairly seamless to add in new people for different roles as we need it. But if I just hired an assistant when I first thought that I needed one, when I first heard that I should do it at X dollar amount, I wouldn't be here right now, I don't think. Or at least I would have wasted a ton of money and time in the process, because I needed to be able to tell my person what I needed help with and how I wanted that help to happen and all of those details. And by being really organized in that, it makes it a lot easier for everyone. Okay, I like this next one. If you want to scale your business, you need passive income. And in order to get passive income, you need to sell digital products. There are a few problems with this one. First of all, digital products are not the only way to scale your business. You can do that in so many other ways, and that's up for you to decide. And then also, digital products are not actually passive, and anyone who's telling you that they're passive is blatantly lying. So sure, you can make a digital product and you can put it up on your website and just hope for the best, but nobody's gonna buy it that way. What you need to actually do is craft an amazing offer and come up with a unique message and become a marketing machine for that offer. So while yes, people can buy it when they land on your website or your landing page or your template shop or your course page or whatever, they can buy it there, and technically you don't have to do anything for the delivery of it afterwards. It's not passive in the marketing and sales of it. Same with the upkeep, the maintenance, making sure that this product is exactly what people need and is relevant for the current times. None of that is actually passive. So if you want to grow and scale your business, you could go the route of digital products, or you could build a micro agency or a studio, or you could come up with group offers, one-to-many offers. It doesn't have to be that you're selling template packs and that kind of thing online. And again, just like the put it on your credit card one, if anybody tells you that digital products are passive, run away. Know that they are lying to you and they're just trying to get your money. The next one is when people say, you need to do it this way because this is what worked for me. When someone is teaching a singular way of doing things or a singular approach without talking about the nuances of their business versus yours versus everyone else that they've helped, then it's probably not going to work for you. It's just going to be a cookie cutter or a copy paste thing that might not actually work for you. There's nuances to all businesses, and the best mentors and coaches and teachers will understand that, and they will help you leverage your unique skills and your goals and all of those kind of things that make you and your business so much you. They'll help you leverage that in order to build a model that fits you and aligns with you, whether that's a business model itself or helping you with marketing strategies or processes and all those kind of things. It will not always be copy and paste. Of course, there are caveats to this. So if you are wanting to teach somebody who has a very similar business to you, or they want a really similar business to you, then yes, teaching your one exact way of doing things makes a lot of sense. For example, if I am teaching copywriters and they need help with their processes, then yes, it makes a lot of sense to copy my process over into their business because they're very much aligned, and then we can tweak from there. For example, if I'm coaching a copywriter and they need help with their processes, then it makes a lot of sense to copy my copy process over to their copy business because they want a business like mine, so they can use that kind of fix. Or if I'm talking to all different types of business owners or copywriters who don't want to build a marketing studio like I have, then copy and pasting my exact processes without explaining or noticing or talking about the nuances and the differences, then it's not going to work and it's not fair. And I firmly believe that your business needs to fit around your life and the goals that you have. So that's why it's really important as well to understand that everybody's different and what works for everybody is going to be different. Clarifying that there are methods and there are people who know what types of things work. They just need to notice and talk about, like I said, the differences. And that should be clear from their marketing before you invest in anything. Another one, kind of circling back to the first one where people tell you to put it on your credit card because it's an investment. This is when people tell you to invest in their massive program or course or coaching program or whatever, and you haven't even landed a client yet. Like your business hasn't made any money yet and they want you to drop thousands of dollars. I don't think that's very smart. I approached my business growth by investing what I could at the time. So in the beginning, in the very first few days, that wasn't anything except for time. And then once I landed some clients, then I could use that money to go back and maybe buy a course or learn something new or buy a book even, right? Like we can learn from books too. Buy templates as I needed them, just slowly leveling up. And then as the business grew more, I stopped investing in courses and learning and templates and that kind of thing, and instead switched over to get somebody to just do it for me because I had more money and less time to work with. But always paying attention to how much my business was making and what budget I actually had for these kind of investments. So no, I don't recommend dropping thousands of dollars in most cases before you ever landed a client. Sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes maybe you have a grant or you have the investment to do that with and you want to do it. Or sometimes it's like a lower ticket investment, something that will just help you get started. Makes total sense. But we're talking about the thousands of dollar investments that people are pushing you to do before your business is even validated. That's just not cool. And the last one has to do with pricing strategy, which I could talk about for hours, but I won't. And it is to just quote a client however you're feeling or whatever you think makes sense for them that day. Basically making it willy-nilly and have no actual strategy involved in it. I believe in pricing things fairly and coming up with a cohesive pricing strategy or packaging or offer suite that makes sense for your business and using that to scope work as needed. Yes, I understand that some projects are different, clients are different, the price is going to be different, bigger clients might need more things. Repeat after me. How you are feeling that day is not a pricing strategy. Okay, so I will leave you here, mostly because my camera battery is dying. It's flashing red at me right now, so I'm going to try to wrap this up really quickly. But if you liked this biz talk, I have so many other videos on similar topics, specifically the hires that you need to make if you want to grow and scale your business, and how I used Dubsado to streamline the processes within my business and save a ton of time. I will leave some of those linked below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this, and leave some of the worst business advice that you've ever heard in the comments below so we can all have a good laugh about it now that we know better. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.